What is up, family? We have another Patreon request. What the amazing digital circus code really hides. Wow. So somebody just sat there, hit pause, and analyzed the entire computer screen of what King was doing to get rid of this guy right here. Okay, anyway, well, he didn't want to get rid of him. He just wanted to, shut him down a little bit. And then he was like, oops, I think I hit the delete button. Oh, shit, I'll just go to the recycling bit. Oh, damn, it's not in there either. Well, that's a problem. Okay, anyway, well, let's find out all the other secrets, although maybe this is just about the code. Can it possibly be a full 9 minutes of just analyzing the code? Probably is. That's how the fans are lunatics. They will break every millisecond of the episodes. That is how much they love the amazing digital circus. I mean, I love them. I'm not gonna lie. It is a fantastic show.
Episode 8 turned out to be even crazier than we expected, cause besides a bunch of genuinely unexpected events, the show creators revealed the true guts of the digital circus system, where a ton of secrets are hidden, from Regatha and Bubble all the way to what actually happened to Kane and how he disappeared from the digital circus. We can see the system name, King Solution 2.0. Of course, the first thing that stands out is that this is version 2, which means before the digital circus we're used to, there was another one, most likely a failed version, or just a prototype. Also looking at the name, we see King Solution, and I think it's pretty obvious that this is a direct reference to Kinger, who himself confirmed that he's the developer who created the foundation of the code.
I wasn't quite on Scratch's level of thinking outside the box, but it was good groundwork for something the rest of the team could wrap their heads around.
Next, we see Digital Circus mainframe, and to put it simply, the Digital Circus runs on a dedicated server, and right now Kinger is inside its core.
Mainframe. The young generation's like, oh, what the hell's a mainframe? Yeah.
Basically, Kinger went deep into the code where he can do pretty much anything. We also see a line that shows the network name of the device or server it's connected to, meaning the Digital Circus isn't just a world, it's a server environment. Then things get even more interesting.
Wow.
We see the login, Kinger, but looking at the password is actually kinda sad. Queenie123, that's the password Kinger set, and at this point we can understand that Kinger and Queenie are basically aliases of real people who later ended up in the circus with those same names. Taking all of this into account, and the way Kinger treated Queenie even after her abstraction, you can safely say they had an insanely loving and close family, and that's what makes breaking down this line of code actually pretty sad.
Oh,
then
really?
They showed us the server folder structure, Kane, experimental, consciousness research, and brain scans. Next to Kane, we see the word agent. In AI development, the term agent has a very specific meaning. It's not just a script that runs a predefined algorithm. An agent is an autonomous entity A bit lower, we see a similar line, but instead of Kane, it says experimental. And that's nothing less than proof that besides Kane, there were other AI agents that were supposed to fulfill the same role, but they were never successful agent. All the previous attempts were basically left alone, so to speak, and no new ones were developed, which made Kane the only successful AI of the C&A company. Then we can notice consciousness research and brain scans, and this is basically direct confirmation of what Abel said in episode 7. These two lines are essentially direct documented proof in the code of how people end up in the digital circus.
This guy's amazing. Seriously.
They're not just teleported, their consciousness is copied or transferred using brain scanning technology. It's very likely that this technology works autonomously, because if we take Pomni for example, she ended up there after C&A had already shut down, and based on what we know, all she had to do was put on the headset, and that's it. She was already in the digital circus. We also see the line kane-core.lisp, and next to it the date, October 15th, 1996. That's the day Kane's core was created. On that same date, Bubble Chef, Paraphernalia Engine, and Wacky Watch appeared in the digital circus. I think everyone understands Bubble. This line of code is responsible for generating objects inside the digital circus, and Wacky Watch raises questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whoa.
For us, it's a well-known website where leaks from the show creators sometimes appear.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But within the context of the digital circus, this line of code might be responsible for creating randomness in the world. Honestly, I don't really have any other guesses what it could be. Besides that, they also revealed the dates when Scratch and Regatha appeared. Scratch ended up in the digital circus on October 15th, 1999, and Regatha on October 15th, 2008.
What? Hello? Guys? I can't figure out how to... guys? Hello? Can you help me out here?
You gotta admit, it's a weird coincidence that literally everything happens on October 15th. It's very likely that every new character appears on that exact date. We all remember that Kinger only wanted to temporarily disable Kane. Here we see the line stop Kane process. This is an important moment because the stop command is not a system deletion. It's more like an emergency brake. But
it's like stopping a service in Windows.
In response, Kane answers in a very mocking way. After that, Kinger moves on to more aggressive...
Whoops, wrong approach there. Wow, I've never noticed any of this.
...measures, but gets hit with an actual Linux system error. It means that Kinger is not allowed to hack or view the memory of processes that are running under super user privileges. Then they show us that Kane is actually very well protected, and most likely that's exactly why he has this obsession with the number 57. After that, we see how the system keeps rejecting Kinger's requests, which makes it clear that even Kinger's access level isn't enough to perform actions like this. To be more specific, Kinger was trying to put Kane into what you could call a digital coma. Right. Pay attention to this line. In Linux, this command is used to change file permissions. The numbers 000 mean a complete removal of all permissions.
I don't know shit about Linux. Never cared.
No read, no write, no execute for absolutely any user. There's also this line that really caught my attention. Unfinished work detected. Basically, the whole phrase is a way for Kane to block Kinger, but what exact unfinished work Kane is referring to is still a big mystery that I think we'll find out about in episode 9. At this point, Kinger realizes that getting directly to Kane is probably not going to happen, and because of that, we see this line of code. It means Kinger is trying to delete Paraphernalia Engine, the same file that generates all objects, textures, and obstacles in the digital circus. After failing there too, we see one insanely interesting phrase that can be interpreted in several different ways. Cannot inject torment. Torment must be 100% accidental. On one hand, this could be a core rule of the digital circus when it comes to the characters. The AI is programmed in a way where it can't intentionally cause pain or suffering to the circus residents. That's why all the disturbing things that happen to them under Kane's control are interpreted by the algorithm as fun accidents. But this line can also be understood as a response to the attempt to delete Paraphernalia Engine. If you remove the digital circus textures, theoretically the characters inside could be harmed, and because of that, the system blocks this request as a potential threat. Hundreds of all-seeing eyes are watching. Kane completely stopped pretending to be a system error and started talking to Kinger directly. The line itself is a reference to a scene from the pilot episode. Kinger sees that the system lock has reached 20% and in panic uses a completely real basic Linux command,
wacky time lockout,
to stop services. In response, Kane says, "On what grounds are your authority?" Once again, showing his superiority over Kinger. But here you can notice one detail cause in that question it would be correct to use is, but Kane uses are, and that basically shows that at this moment Kane is very unstable, because it's unlikely that such an advanced AI would make such a basic mistake. Then the real drama begins, because Kinger uses this command. To put it simply, he launches his own script, Green Grounds. Daemon means it runs in the background to bypass Kane's antiviruses, but the most important part is the goal. Kinger is trying to break that same core ethical protocol we already talked about. He wants to disable that safety so he can force his way through the AI's protection. I think it makes sense to speed things up a bit. Kane keeps mocking Kinger, but here we can notice something weird. In this line, Kane directly addresses Kinger and almost reveals his real name. Maybe Kinger's real name is Grant, but that's just a theory. Kinger launches a hidden system cleanup, but the system asks for an admin code. He enters the most basic password admin 1234,
incorrect,
which is obviously wrong, and Kane mocks him once again. Then Kane keeps playing his insane game with the code. Kinger in desperation types paraphernalia, and Kane responds with this. That is a wacky word, but wrong code. You can also notice a 35-second countdown. In the next shots, things get really interesting. First of all, Bubble suddenly shows up and bursts in with the line delete this
What? Oh, wow. Definitely never saw any of this.
But right now, the most important line is, "Are you want to delete Kane?" In response, Kinger says, "Yes." Basically, Kinger intentionally killed Kane because he had no other choice. Before
So, it might not have been a mistake.
we wrap this up, let's take a closer look at this line. The exclamation mark in a file name in programming often means an emergency, last resort script that breaks the system's normal logic. This is an attempt to roll the server state back exactly one step, a forced execution key. Kinger is basically telling the server to ignore any restrictions, errors, or blocks that were set by Kane. And this part is actually really interesting, because Wuji in Chinese philosophy means the original state of emptiness before the creation of the universe. So Kinger is literally launching a protocol to return the circus to a state of absolute nothingness. Overall, I think we did a pretty solid job breaking down everything we were shown.
Yeah, I would say that.
As always, I'm waiting for you in the comments, and see you soon.
Amazing. Seriously, amazing. To just look at one little scene where you see all the writing on a computer and just hit pause and then just analyze and break every single line down. These guys are good, people. These guys are good. Especially that, I mean, I know of Linux, of course, but I've never played with Linux. All I know is one great thing about Linux was, you never got hit with viruses. I don't know if that's true today. Probably is. Windows is the main focus on hitting viruses out there and ransomware. Like, nobody messes with Linux. So it was used in some instances just because it's so safe. But God, I would have never known. 90% of those commands made no sense to me. So very cool explanation. And wow, that kind of changes a little bit of the way I was thinking at the end of 8 was, oh, damn, he erased them accidentally. He wasn't doing that on purpose. Well, I guess what? He did do it on purpose. I really don't know where this goes, to be honest with you. Without Kane, with the digital circus basically imploding, I don't know where this goes. I cannot wait for 9. It's crazy. I know you can't wait either. But it's going to be interesting, folks. It's going to be interesting. I also think, regarding all the explanations of the codes, I see a lot of openings for a whole bunch of different things they could do. They could introduce a whole bunch of things from what this guy just explained to us, in my opinion. You could have many more episodes. So this could be interesting. All right. Anyway, there you have it. I learned a lot. You guys probably already knew everything. Take care. Peace out. Have a good night.